62. There we go. Let's put this away. And I will start by saying date. It is still the 8th of May 2020. It's 6:30. It's a Friday. And from the last broadcast you probably gathered that I'm walking back from the Connemara. So yeah, me and Flo arrived just a few minutes after me, and I managed to upload a few videos, all the audio ones that I prepared from January. And some transport fever stuff. So I kind of cleaned the decks. It's nice to get rid of. I also deleted some transport fever stuff that I decided not to upload. It's really just me testing the lapel mic. Flo is trying to open up a PayPal account so people can pay her when they're doing her online classes. And she's working on a meditation video. And as we know, you start doing stuff online, something that you think will take you half an hour can take you 2 hours. So I'd done most of what I wanted to do, and I'm starting to get rather chilly in the Connemara, so I said I'd leave. I'll walk home. It's also getting into the evening now. Had a good 2-3 hours in the Connemara. I was going through some early audio stuff that I'd done on this device, I believe. And when you download it to the laptop, it doesn't give you the date that the audio was made on this device. It does on everything else, but on this one, I don't know if there's a way I could have programmed that. To be honest, I have a little booklet at home. Let's check it out to see if there's a way that you can. Maybe you have to just press a few things to put today's date in, and then from then on it'll be ready. Anyway, what it means then, I had about 10 different audio files, and because just to make my life more difficult, on the thumbnail I've also put the date of the audio, which perhaps is not necessary. It kind of makes it a little more organized for me scrolling through the thumbnails. I can see 22nd of January 2020, whatever, and it's fun kind of drawing it into the thumbnail. Whether or not that was totally necessary, I don't know. I could have really just had audio 1, 2, 3, so forth. Because on each audio I normally, I always nowadays, first thing I do is I say the date and the day. But listening back to these audio files from February, I had to listen to them all to try and get the date, and then make a note of it on the actual file, rename it with the date, but you know, like I say, I don't know how necessary that is. I just instinctively went to putting the date on the thumbnail. I think I'll stick with that. So I'm walking home. I left a 2-hour Terry Wogan Wake Up with Wogan thing uploading on my laptop, which hopefully will be done before Flo leaves, because she's bringing the laptop with her. And I'm trying to warm up, but it's a bit chilly now. Not the same heat when I was walking in. But still, I had some stuff done, that was good. And here I am doing another one of these audio vlogs. So many interesting things. Looking back, or listening back rather, over the early February stuff is, and I can almost kind of pinpoint when I got my head cold, around the end of February, 27, 28, and it kind of kept me occupied, that cold, for around the first week of March. Bonjour. It's windy. I guess you can hear that, I guess, on the mic. Very windy. Bonjour. Dogs love me. It's about 6:30 and I haven't eaten anything all day. I'm starting to feel kind of hungry. I've got some leftover mince from yesterday. I think I'm going to eat all that. And what about Flo? I don't care. She's not getting my mince. She can have salad and stuff. She loves that. She can chop up a courgette. She can chop up a fucking courgette. She can have that. I'm having a fucking mince. That's the end of it. I was having that bizarre talk about how the moment is always gone as soon as it arrives. As I was walking into the Connemara, it was only about 3 o'clock, let's say 3:30, and I was saying, it was like the whole day was ahead. And that just seems like a few moments ago, and already the day is, the sun is heading way over to the west. By the time I get back, it's going to be after 7. And if me and Flo go for a walk, then I'm going to be next at 8 o'clock. And that's it. I'm going to be heading towards doing my video with my two big towns, which I don't need to speak about now because I spent an hour ranting about that on the way in. But the point is, then it's dark and that's it, the day is done. Just like that. It's always going through your fingers, isn't it? Time. I guess that's why I have such a kind of obsession with documenting things. Although I didn't really get to document very much of January. Season of the 20th of January seems to be the day I began all this recording. That was when the lapel mic must have arrived. Like I said earlier, it would have been nice and tidy if we started the 1st of January, but never mind. It's still, at least there's some entries from January, lots from February and lots from March. Enjoy. Little kid on a bike. He's about, I wonder what age, 6 or 7 maybe. He's got a big thick head of hair. It's like one of those funny black wigs that you buy somewhere and pull on your head. Obviously it's not, it's his real hair. Anyway, the 8th of March. Flo was not too happy to get back to the Connemara. It's a bad state of affairs. As soon as she walks through the door, she's irritated. I've never seen a place have such an effect on someone. I mean, I have a feeling when we start back and she meets some people she hasn't seen for a long time, I think she'll be quite pleased. It's like me, when we go through a day and I can take the money out of the till and say, today we made 300 quid or whatever, I think that's going to please me. Because you've got to have money coming in somewhere. So what am I going to do tonight? I think I may play a little bit of Red Dead Redemption. I'd like to keep that just thinking about that game. I've enjoyed the beginning part, But thinking back, I have a feeling that it's when you get into the game that it can start to drag a little bit. I think that's what happened last time, because I did attempt a second playthrough. I got as far as when the gang kind of moves or finds out about the big town whose name eludes me. Denny, something. And then there's all these side missions, and I kind of lost interest. The missions I like least is when Arthur has to chase after people, either on horseback or on foot. I hate that. Not too bad finding people, because with those missions you can just take your time, and you may have other little things happening to you unexpectedly, which just keeps the interest up. I'll do that. And Transport Fever, I don't know, like I've been saying, how much play is kind of left in these two towns. We're well into the modern age. I don't know how many. I mean, it's interesting to see if I can, let's say, could I keep going and pay back the loan. But in terms of changes to the city, or in terms of growing the towns anymore, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do any more with that. Who's this? A dog in front of me. And a car driving kind of slow. I assume the dog is with the car. But it seems to be the way some people walk their dogs. They fucking drive along in front in their car. That's really lazy. Why don't you walk your fucking dog properly? You bastard. Kind of wondering what that guy does. He's driving a kind of Jeep. You wonder if, when it's a big car, if someone comes behind him. I'm walking home on this country part. Well, I guess it can pull over to the side. Because he's driving at 5 miles an hour. Or she. This has been a different kind of day for me. It was nice to get kind of back into the swing a little bit of the Connemara, if we are going to start to get close to the day we open again. It's nice to get acclimatized to it. Everything seems fine. I guess the frozen stuff is fine. It's been frozen for It doesn't matter how long you freeze stuff for, so that should be okay. All our flour is out of date. So what do we do about that? I never thought flour could go out of date. I thought flour was kind of like sugar. Just something that you could keep forever, kind of indefinitely, you know? Apparently not. Anyway, it was nice to get back on this the first time. Spent some time there with Flo. And we went through all the mail that came. We had a new Gastapan credit card. We had a breakdown of our tax, and we were able to see that, as expected, we're not paying any tax for April or May. And it's all been significantly reduced for the rest of the year, I think. We got a letter from the water supply people saying they had a fund, not that we need it because it's a very small bill, twice a year or something. Yeah, we were able to get a feel for things again. So it's been it's a bit more like a normal working day, to be honest. Kind of looking forward to eating something. May. They've started to ease the lockdown restrictions in several countries. Not in Britain. It's carrying on there as normal for the next 2 weeks. But in Ireland, I think they're changing certain things. In France, you can go up to a couple of 100 miles, I think, away from your house. I think older people can see their families again. And then in June, businesses, restaurants and things, are going to receive information on how they can open. I don't mind either way. I've enjoyed the routine of these kind of lazy days, but I don't mind going back and doing a bit of work, putting a bit of time in there. They're all the same. It doesn't change my gameplay or game plan very much. It's just try to keep occupied, keep everything simple, and try and drop off most of the stuff that bothers you or gives you that heavy feeling. Drop it. None of it really matters. Not much matters in the end. Just getting by the day as pleasantly as possible, with the hope that you may have some kind of relationship with a little bit of magic. You may find yourself inspired, motivated. You may have an evening like I had last night, where I got totally absorbed in the game and I really had a nice time. I don't know if it's moments like that whatever you're doing or whatever's going on is keeping all the different levels of you occupied, higher and lower. Sometimes think we're made up of these different levels. There's a higher you and lower you. I may even start to look forward to doing a new map now. Maybe it'll just be a generated one, and I'll take my chances with what gets thrown up, what gets automatically generated. The only thing is, I'm not sure I'd like to start again from 1850, because I don't know, in its own way it's a challenge, I suppose. You can try and lay down I've done it before, some passenger train stations between a couple of towns, and you can earn some money. But in terms of the industries and stuff, there's not a lot you can do. You can make a little bit of money. It's a bit I don't know, I guess it depends on what humor you're in. It can also be very relaxing, because if you're just running a few lines, it can be quite meditating, just watching the very basics of the game. You got a guy in a carriage taking 4 units at a time, and it takes him a week to get from one location to the next. Who's coming toward me? I don't think it's Flo. I wouldn't say she's left Connemara yet even. Anyway, she's got no keys to get in, so can't be Flo. What am I talking about? I've got the keys to the house. She gave me hers because I didn't bring mine. Yeah, it might be best for a change to start Transport Fever in 1900. That's when, slow enough, but things are starting to change. What? I hope this wind isn't destroying the sound. I was thinking it's too early, or it's hard to tell when you're in the midst of a game whether it's going to go on to be a classic. I was really into Frostpunk, for instance, for quite a while. I don't know how long, maybe a few weeks. But yet, looking back, it's that thing about replayability. There may be the notion of playing it and seeing. There is obviously the challenge of saving as many people as you can, and it's a big draw, but it doesn't have the same easygoing replayability, because it's such a slog, that game, you know. It's so much effort to try and get things all set up for this big storm at the end. And personally, anyway, I don't feel any urge to replay that game. There was a big DLC for it recently, and it was people building the generator itself, and I didn't really have any compulsion to get that or start that again. So who knows? I mean, can't tell what you're going to think in a month. It may well be that I get back to it and have a second burst of enthusiasm for it, and it's the same with Anno. Well, Anno's got its own problems, which I discussed before. It's the repetitiveness of that game. It's the uniformity about the buildings and everything. Transport Fever is a little more chaotic. I like it like that. You don't quite know what you're going to get. And the replayability, the fresh start, is perfect in Transport Fever, because it's just a few clicks and you're back to a brand new map and you start again, and there isn't really that sense of, oh, I'm going to lose all the stuff all the progress I've made. Because if you're going to start again, you're probably not happy with the way things are going, so it's not a big deal. But it's probably too early to say. I've been playing it a lot. We'll see. I played Tropico quite a lot as well originally. I really enjoyed Tropico, actually, thinking back. That's a game I think I would be more, if there's any games that I would like to get knowing their faults, knowing the kind of perhaps bullshit element behind the economy and everything. I still think Tropico 5 would be one I certainly wouldn't mind having a go at, because I had moments with the Tropico 4. The thing was disappointing for me, and maybe this is just because of bad play, but it seemed to get less interesting the further on you go into it. But Tropico 5 is certainly something I wouldn't mind much more than Anno, I think. It's easier to get into. There is certainly lots of replayability. I actually enjoyed the beginning of the Tropico game, when you've just got one or two plantations and you're in the 1800s. Yeah, I'll probably keep an eye on Steam. Games like that, sometimes they can come up for sale. You can get a copy for €10 or something. It's very colourful. Like I said, I remember playing it once and really just getting lost in it and relaxing in it. It's a beautiful game. Really into all the funny kind of dictator stuff. I'd be quite happy if none of that was in it. I like the idea of having to protect your town against this and that and the other. And I like the idea of the elections. That's fantastic. Trying to keep various factions happy. There's an awful lot of gameplay in that game. It's more interesting, I think, than the Anno one. Everybody was ranting about that game, and I think if you've never played any other games, it must seem great, but if you've played the other ones, it really is just so, it's the same thing with a slightly different background. Right, I'm approaching I'm approaching the path leading to our gate. And yes, I have to wait for Flo to come back to see the walk. I don't know what time it is. That felt like a substantial walk. Funny the difference again in the perception of things. When I walked in earlier today, my God, it felt like about 5 minutes getting there. But walking back this way with the wind and I haven't eaten, it's really a different feeling. So, let's go in, and Tuco will be happy to see us. Oh, I can hear TV. Right. I've got my key in hand. No white car. Not surprising. We thought as much. I've got bread out and I've got chicken. I'm going to have a sandwich. And I don't have my phone to watch the news. Maybe my Wickle will be able to connect to Sky. Maybe. There's that fella. Familiar. There you go, Tuco. Hello, Tuco. Been a while, huh? Hello, little fella. Look at you. You think we've been away for hours and hours? So we just came back. God bless him. Alright, well, I think I can probably switch off. Yeah, that's funny. Even 38 minutes. The other way was 50. I must have had this switched on in the house before I left. That was a bit of a record for walking home. Oh no, I know why. I didn't turn this on till I was near the depot. There's Almond, where they make all the stuff, the depot, you know. I didn't turn it on there, so I had it switched off all the way going through Orizon, all the way down past Carrefour, etc. That's why it's only 39. Anyway, I shall say goodbye for today, probably. This 8th of May. Goodbye.